Welcome back to another segment of All-Star AD. We'll be right back with today's All-Star, but first we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports, the Florida Coaches Coalition, and We Coach. You've heard me say before, these are three great organizations that you should be a part of. So check them out, see how you can get involved. And now please stay with us. Don't fast forward. Let's hear from our podcast sponsors. It'll only take about 3 minutes. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack for their support of the podcast. Athletic surveys are a quick and easy way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire program. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to show you how to set up and create a custom survey for your school. Athletic directors typically only hear back from the disgruntled parent or frustrated student athlete. And that only makes up about 2% of your department. And we need to hear from that 2% to help make changes. But you also need to hear from the 98% that really love and support your program. It's a tremendously valuable tool to have when you're talking with that frustrated parent or your boss or your school board. And athleticsurveys.com will allow you to do that. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to help you take the pulse of that parent, student, athlete group and help take your athletic program from good to great. Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack. We also want to thank Final Forms. Go to finalforms.com/Jake to see all the things that they can do for you. Final Forms is going to help your stakeholders by providing a ton of information, including physical expiration deadlines for coaches. They're going to help with attendance and communication with their group. And for athletic directors, Final Forms will help you with all the reports that come across your desk. To take those next steps, as I said, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to huddle.com and change the way you see the game. Huddle is going to provide your school, your teams, your coaches, your kids with the tools that they need to play at the highest level. Huddle is going to provide a professional grade solution to the challenges that you and your coaches face. Go to huddle.com and see why we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 6 million users and find out how to turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing. Go to hometownticketing.com. They're going to show you how to set up and sell your tickets online, not just for athletic events, but for school plays, concerts, dances, even graduation. Along the way, they will also provide you with a dedicated client success manager that's providing you hands-on support every step of the way. Go to hometownticketing.com and get started. Hometown Ticketing, simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. One of the best purchases I ever made was a Sideline Interactive indoor score table. It's just fantastic. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo, see their tables and their boards in action. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to thank Snap Mobile. Go to snapraise.com. Check out their entire platform, including Snap Store, Snap Manage, Snap Connect, and of course, Snap Raise, their fundraising platform that we've used, and they've helped schools just like yours raise over $700 million. They even have a program where you can get your funding before you even do your fundraiser. I don't think anybody does that. Go to snapraise.com. Check out the entire Snap Mobile platform. We want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how athletic directors are creating world-class marketing content for their school's social media channel. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design experience. Tell them you heard about it on the podcast. Use our code ADPOD10 and you'll get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. Create world-class marketing content for your school's social media channel. And we want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. The Wall of Fame is an interactive touchscreen video console that highlights your school's top performers, both past and present, in athletics, academics, and the arts. The Wall of Fame will help bring your school's legacy to life. And it's also an extensive content program that helps you tell more compelling stories that will better engage your audience. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their products. And when you're ready to buy, use the link vitalsignswalloffame.com/Jake for a 5% discount. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com/Jake. Check them out today. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the All-Star AD on the Educational AD Podcast. This is our series where we feature 10 great women athletic directors who share their perspective on challenges that we all face as athletic administrators. Our guest today is Pam Cawley. Pam's a veteran of the podcast. This is actually her third segment on All-Star AD. She's the athletic director at Foundation Christian, which is in Valrico, Florida. She's also a certified athletic administrator, and she's very involved in the state. Pam, welcome back to All-Star AD. And what do you have for our listeners today?
Thank you, Jake. Today I am talking about great sportsmanship. This year, our school, school-wide, made a declaration that we're going to move from good to great, from being a good school to a great school. And I jumped on that and I said, you know what? We're going to do that with sportsmanship as well. Our school is known for good sportsmanship. Officials, they love to come here. Other schools love to schedule with us. Even the great competitions, even the ones where we win, because normally you're like, oh, well, of course they're going to want to schedule with you if they know it's going to be an easy win. It's not like that. We have schools that, sometimes they dominate, sometimes we dominate. We have these great relationships. And it's because we're known for good sportsmanship. We've made the change, though. We're moving to great sportsmanship. How do you do that? How do you make the change from good to great in reference to sportsmanship and to great sportsmanship? It starts with you as the athletic director. And then, of course, it all trickles down to your coaches, to your athletes, to your parents. From starting with welcoming the teams as soon as they come on campus, as soon as that bus rolls down your driveway, they need to know that they're welcomed there, that you're excited to have them there. And even if it's that rival, that one team that you are always, neck and neck with, and I mean, that competition is so great. When you have a great relationship with them and you're welcoming them, hey, we're glad you're here, it makes a very big impact. Welcoming the parents as they come in, not just, taking their ticket and go on into concessions, welcoming them, hey, welcome to our school. Welcome to, we call it the Centerplex and, the different names that we have for our facilities. Welcome the students and the coaches, and everyone's going to pick up on that, right? The parents are going to see that. Your coaches are going to see that you're welcoming the teams. They will then start welcoming the teams. And it just keeps going. When the coaches greet the teams and they're talking to them as they're warming up a little bit, the players are like, hey, we're gonna go and try to defeat these guys, but you're talking to them. That's not what you're supposed to do. But they notice it. They're like, oh, wow, okay. So you guys have a relationship. You guys like each other. You guys aren't ready to rip each other's heads off, because that's not what it is. It's athletics. It's supposed to be friendly competition. Yeah, it's hard. You want to win, but we're all people, right? You can treat each other nicely. We were blessed to have been asked to host 3 championships and for our winter sports. And we had people coming from all over the place. And they're like, wow, your school has great sportsmanship from the minute we walked in the door. And this is people that we've never played before. They're coming from all over the state. It's not someone that we play all the time. And like, we are blown away. You guys, from the second we walked in the door to the way that your players conducted themselves on the court, to the way that your fans are conducting themselves, the way that you respond to the athlete or to the officials' calls, good or bad, they notice that. Okay. Greet the officials, make them feel welcome, make it so that the officials want to come to your school. Because the way that they're greeted, the way that they're respected, chat with them a little bit during halftime if you can, offer them some water. The parents and the coaches and the athletes, they see that. They see the athletic directors talking to the officials. They're not being angry. They're not being mad. When the coaches are talking to the officials, they notice it. They're like, wow, you can actually have a conversation with an official without being heated and being upset. And that respect from the very beginning is just going to carry on throughout the season. How do you create this culture? Again, it starts with you. Set up the expectations at the beginning of the season. Talk with your parents, right? Let them know this is the expectation. We have great sportsmanship here. This is what we do here. Make it an expectation. Make it that, this is what we're going to be doing. So that instead of doing it retroactively, be proactive instead of reactive. So that when a situation comes up, you're not talking about sportsmanship for the very first time. You've talked about it before. You set up that expectation at the very beginning of the season. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have great sportsmanship. Get your coaches on board, because when they're on board, it's just going to all keep rolling from there. Tell your athletes, this is what we do at our school. I started this years ago. At FCA, at Foundation Christian, we are known for whatever it is you want it to be. It matters to me. Sportsmanship, great sportsmanship matters to me. So at FCA, that's what we're known for. And I tell everybody that. Even before we were known for great sportsmanship, I told them that we were known for having good sportsmanship. This is what we do. So they're like, they bought in. They're like, oh, okay. So these new families, these new athletes, every year you get new kids. They're like, oh, so that's what we do here. Very good. We're going to pick up on that. We're going to do that. They don't want to be the outlier. They don't want to be the one that's not joining in with whatever it is that you're doing in your program. And at Foundation Christian, it's great sportsmanship. So they're gonna jump in on that. Sitting with your parents in games, showing them how to cheer and how to disagree with an official's call. It's okay to disagree. I do it all the time at basketball, but how are you doing that, right? Are you yelling at your official in a way that when you say goodbye, have a great night, that you're like, I'm sorry that I said those words to you? Talk in a way that the parents are like, okay, so it's okay to disagree with the official's call, but do it in a way that's respectful, right? So with your parents, get in your student section, sit right in the middle of it, sit on the edges of it, be there, be a presence so that they see you there as the athletic director, as the administrator, as a coach. Our coaches for our boys coach will sit with the student section during the girls game. The girls coaches sit with the student section during the boys game, so that they, again, have that example of how to cheer, and how to have fun with them, be rowdy with them a little bit, but in a great way, right? The great sportsmanship. Praise your athletes when they do the right thing, when it got hard, when they had that other player that was up in their face and being the way that we can get in a game. If your athlete does the right thing, praise them for it. Tell them, good job. I am so proud of you. I saw that was hard, but you did the right thing. That's going to go a long way. And the fact that you took the time to talk with your athlete on it. And I'm saying as the athletic director, not as the coach. As the athletic director, you never coach that kid, but you know him, you know her. Go up to her, go up to him, and praise them for it. Praise your coaches when you know that they've had a struggling game and they really wanted to just flip their lid. You know that they wanted to have, just go crazy, but they restrained and they calmed themselves. Praise your coaches for that. That is a big deal. It takes restraint. Make sure that they know that you recognize it, that you saw it, because then they're like, oh, wow, okay, she's watching. She sees it. So that's a big deal. This year, since we started great sportsmanship, not just good sportsmanship, but great sportsmanship, since we started this campaign, we have had more wins. We have had more championships. We've had more trophies in our trophy case, and we have sent more individuals and teams to regionals than we ever have. I don't think it's coincidence. I think that it is changing the culture. I think that it is changing the way that they play the game. that it's just rippling. It's making a huge effect. And I love that. So play hard, win big, but do it with kindness.
I'm not surprised at all, knowing you, that this is something that's important to you and your programs. And again, I actually have a presentation I share with coaches and with parents. It's called "Expecting Great Sportsmanship." So again, you and I are eye to eye on that. And again, you talk about the results this year, those outside results of trophies and playoffs, et cetera. It's true. And I think it's probably true because by not worrying or not focusing on the officials' calls and things that are out of their control, what are your coaches and athletes able to do? Focus on the things that are going to help them perform better.
For sure.
Great stuff. And from an official's standpoint, officials are human. Hopefully they're walking into the gym, and I'm a high school basketball official. Hopefully they're walking into the gym and it's 50-50. Okay. They don't care who wins. By yelling at them, you're only going to push that in the wrong direction. But by doing the things that you talked about, hey, you can turn those 50-50 calls maybe into a 51-49 or better. And that's not why you do it. It just happens to be an outcome when you do things the right way. Great stuff.
Thank you.
For our listeners, Pam, if one of them wanted to reach out, find out more about your great sportsmanship program or any of the things that you do at your school, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
Email is the best way to get a hold of me. My email is pcawley, CAWLEY, at foundationchristianacademy.org.
Pam Cawley, thanks so much for contributing to our All-Star AD series, and all the best with the program moving forward.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
For our listeners, we do this every week and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We also upload our videos to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. And these segments that you've been listening to on All-Star AD are actually going to be put into a book, which will be coming out in the late summer, early fall of 2023, called the All-Star AD. So thanks again for listening. And we'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast. Thanks again for listening to our All-Star AD segment. Before we go, we want to give another shout out to our sponsors, Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Let them create a custom survey for your school and let you take the pulse of your parents and your student athletes. That's athleticsurveys.com. Also, Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo, see their tables and boards in action. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We want to thank Vital Signs walloffame.com. Check out their products. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. And when you're ready to purchase, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com/Jake and you'll get 5% off. We want to say thanks to Final Forms. Final Forms is there to help you as an athletic director, your coaches, and your stakeholders. Go to finalforms.com/Jake for more information. We want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to huddle.com. Turn your school into a Huddle school. The tools and technology they're going to provide you is going to help you and your coaches and your athletes perform at the highest level. That's huddle.com. We want to thank Snap Mobile. Go to snapraise.com. Check out their entire suite of platforms, including Snap Raise. That's snapraise.com. Thanks to Gipper for their support. Go to Gipper.com. Tell them you heard about it on the podcast. Use our code ADPOD10 and you'll get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. And we want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com to get started today. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on All-Star AD and the Educational AD Podcast. Have a great day.